Hey again. So I'm kind of excited to get this next step underway. What I want to do is wire up the Arduino Uno, the shift out board, and the relay board, and do a testing of the new wiring. So basically, so in a previous video, we saw that we got the communication working kind of as a test run. We got one of the relays to switch, to flip. So now that we've got the wiring in a more permanent way, I want to make sure that we can communicate via the shift out from the Arduino to the relay board and individually set off each of the 8 relays that we're going to be using in different ways. So let's get to it. Okay, so I wanted to go over the wiring for the ultimate test of the Arduino talking to the relay board. So what we've got here is the semi-permanent setup. Arduino wired to the shift out board through this wiring harness here, and sending power from the Arduino to the breadboard, and then this wiring harness here sending power out from the breadboard into the shift out. The relay board is wired into the shift out board for its incoming communication. So basically the shift out board is going to get it, it's going to send the signal to the relay board through pins 0 through 7 into 0 through 7 here, and then the shift out board is getting its power also from the breadboard. So if you caught my previous kind of aside post regarding the breadboard acting as a bus, here you have a perfect example. So basically the rails, the positive and negative rails on the breadboard there that you see is essentially working as a power bus. We've got a nice lightweight, compact, positive and ground bus. So that's the setup. So now we'll connect up the Arduino Uno to the laptop and get some power. Okay, so I had a bit of a panic / heart attack when I tried a few things and lights that I expected to go on didn't go on. And I thought that, oh my God, of course I've fried something again. Long story short, I didn't, but let me show you what I was afraid happened. So I'm in the process of getting everything ready. As you can see, the USB cable is in on the Arduino Uno, and prior to kind of filming, I wanted to make sure that I had stuff wired correctly. When I plugged it in and ran a test, I expected not just these to function, but because this relay is wired into the power module, and the power module is wired into the motor controller, I expected the motor controller power on light to turn on, and it didn't. What I forgot, let me point that out, what I forgot was the power converter, the DC to DC panel here, board. It has a handy little switch like this, and I forgot that that existed. So apparently I had, in my wiring, basically turned that board off as a precaution. So anyway, long story short, everything's all good. So back to our testing. You may recall the sketch from a previous test and video that we did. And what we're going to do is, for test number 1, we're going to just do kind of in 2 parts. We're going to turn all of the relays on which is this top one where you have the 0B and then just ones, 1 being on, 0 being off. And then we'll flip them all off with this 0, 0 where you have 0B and then all zeros. So let's connect up the USB to the Arduino Uno and give that a go. Okay, so the first thing we should see when I connect the USB port is the Arduino Uno turn on, and we should see the VCC light at the farthest right of the relay board turn on as well. So let's go ahead and do that, and there we go. So there's the light on the VCC, and the Arduino Uno is bright and happy. Okay, back to the code here. Basically, we're going to upload this sketch with this value in for the shift out. Basically, the FF meaning all on, as you can tell up here. It's the FF all on, all ones. So when I hit the upload button here, it'll send it over to the Arduino, and the Arduino will send the message over to the shift out, which will tell the relay board to flip the relays. So let's take a look. So what we're looking for is the lights on the Arduino to start lighting up as it receives the new sketch, which is doing now, and then there we go, lights are on. So now we will go back to the sketch. So now I'm just going to change this value back to zeros by doing undo, and we'll re-upload. So we should see the lights on the Arduino come up again as it receives the new sketch, and the lights should go off. Awesome. Okay, pretty simple, but that's test one, a success. The next thing I want to do is basically write a bit of a loop code where we can turn on and off each individual light in succession. So let's do that, and that'll be our final kind of major test for the relay, confirming that we have individual control over the relays, and then we can kind of move on to the next thing, next project. Okay, so I've updated the code with the relay array here, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's hook up the Arduino Uno again and run this baby and see what happens. Okay, so a reminder of what we're looking for. So the array basically counts down over the relay channels 1 through 8 or 0 through 7, whichever this board says. So basically we're looking to turn one on and turn the previous one off, one at a time. So let's connect them up and let her fly. Awesome. Okay, let's unplug this and let's take a look at the code. I will include this code on ROVer's site, so just hit me up, or hit up ROVer, I should say, for a copy. But so basically these are the binary values that I found matched up with their hex values, and then I just had to look up the values for the test that I wanted to run. So you can see basically the values running down this way. And then I set up the arrays. I set up 2 just for really in case anybody wants it, but this one's going forward, 1 through 8, and this is going backwards 8 through 1. And then what we did in the loop, basically we set the value here in the shift out code. We put the relay with a hex value, and down here you can see the hex value is going to increment by 1. And then in order to kind of quote-unquote quit the loop, we throw it into an endless while if the value ends at 9. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, success, awesome. And again, I'll post this on the site, and if anybody has any questions or suggestions for the next sort of test with the relay, just let me know. But otherwise, we're off on to the next project. Cheers.